This is the beginning of the vocabulary section of the G4 and G6 test review. I'm going to go through these vocabulary words the same way I went through them in our last review sheet. We will start by reading the definitions, and then from there figure out which word best describes that definition. So let's take a look at letter A, which says the ratio of a right triangle's adjacent over hypotenuse sides. Now, something you've been learning in class is this thing about ratios of sides of triangles, and we have learned that we can remember those ratios with the acronym. And I'm going to write CO here. It's pretty funny. Let's try again. How about so, ka, toa? And remember what these stand for is. So is sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. So in this case, we're dealing with a right triangle. A ratio of a right triangle, which basically tells me we're dealing with trig. And then this should tip you off, adjacent over hypotenuse, which is the definition of cosine. So taking a look over here on our left side, here's the word cosine. The answer for cosine is A. Letter B, an equation formed by two equal ratios. Now I can tell you there's lots of math words in here. Equation, equal, ratios. It's easy to get this one confused with other ones. But if you think about this and just write this out, we know that a ratio is just some kind of a fraction. Let's just put some variables here. And an equation formed by two equal ratios. Equal means they're the same. And so let's draw another ratio. Let's just make this A over B. And you can see here's an equation formed by two equal ratios. Well, you should be able to see that based on what we've learned in this unit. This is called a proportion. So this is a proportion. So let's take a look at our list. If I go down the list, and it's alphabetic on this one, proportion is number 11. That is going to be letter B. Okay, letter C. A comparison between two quantities. Again, two words, comparison and quantity. So quantity is just a number, a value that counts something, and comparing them together. Here's one way to look at that. We've done this in class. Let's say that I said 2 to 1. That's comparing 2 to 1. And you can see that is a ratio. Another way to write a ratio is you could write it as a fraction, 2 over 1. We talked about this early on in the unit as far as comparisons between two quantities, that this is an expression that describes a ratio, and 2 to 1 describes a ratio. So a comparison between two quantities would be ratio. Let's scroll down our list, and there is ratio, and that is going to be letter C. Continue on with the vocabulary in the next video.